What's up, everybody? Sawtooth Dave here. Just want to kind of go over a Hoback Husky. It's a knife that's kind of impressed me so much. I ain't got the other one. Ricardo was always kind of a long shot for me. I'm definitely a titanium kind of guy. We all like different things, especially the DLC titanium. That's pretty much always been my favorite. Like in the Sawtooth, I definitely like that same version. Just my favorite. Had a bunch of these. Definitely my favorite version of the Sawtooth. So I figured probably the same with the Hobacks as well. And it is. Like the weight savings is a little something different, but the way it feels in your hand, just yeah, it's just a cool knife. This knife's really impressed me as a whole. So we'll go over comparisons here in a minute, or not comparisons, but how about yeah, I guess so. We'll show you some shit in here. But the machining on these things is flawless. Like Hoback has done an awesome job with the machine work. Really good job. From a machinist perspective, I really can't find a whole lot of flaws, or really any flaws in the machine work. Everything is chamfered well, executed very well. Just a really good overall knife. Action's really good on them too. And I don't know if you're familiar with Hobacks, they got the rolling detents, the lock bar insert in there. These knives aren't the thinnest behind the edge. They're definitely rough knives as far as designed for rough use. They're a little thicker behind the edge than, you know, a standard knife that people want to slice stuff up with. But that's what these knives are for, you know. And then these are both a Nitro V, which is, you know, more of a steel made for a little bit of abuse like that. It's not going to chip out and stuff like some of the other steels will. They're definitely harder to use. I don't know if you can hear the difference in deployment. Let's do that real quick because I want you to hear the difference. So the Mercado has kind of a thud to it. It just dies, right? It doesn't really ring or resonate. This one, you hear how much more resonant it gets. It's just has a cooler feel to that. But look at the machine work, man. Such a great job in that. Such a great job. This DLC one is just me all the way. Nice stone washing DLC. Just a freaking badass knife. Really love these knives. So the action on these, that's what's one thing that's really incredible about them. So obviously this is left-handed, so you can, I don't know if you can hear that. Just almost as good as action as a hindered runner flipper. Like I would put it right there. That's a 1/4-inch blade, man. Does no, I don't have any other knives that are like as beefy as this is that handle as good as this one does. And of course you can, you know, slow roll with the little groove there. I can't do this left-handed, but if I switch to my right hand, I can definitely flick it, which I really enjoy on this knife especially. Thumb, you got to come slide down a little bit. If you slide down, seems to be fine that way too. So it's not like a super long knife, it's a super width knife. So for my hand size, you know, it's like it just fits and feels really good. It's the width of it, just that little bit extra thickness just feels so much better for me. Let me give a couple of comparisons now that we're talking about thicknesses and that sort of thing. So we'll just start with the Sawtooth scissors right here. So here's a Sawtooth, and here's the Hoback. See if I can get them dead on here. I can't remember what side the camera's on. I think it's on this side. There we go. All right, so the dead on shot, you can see it's a good size thicker. Like it's not huge, maybe a 1/16, 1/8 at the most. But it just fills the hand out. You know, the Sawtooth's got it because this width on the Sawtooth, you know, this where your grip area is just beefier, so it feels kind of better. You can see how it's a little thinner on this one, but it gets more comfortable because it's thicker. So both these, for comfort wise, are probably pretty comparable for me. You know, with a Hoback, you're obviously kind of locked into those finger grooves. There's no way to kind of get out of it, but for my hands, it just kind of fits good and feels good. So I really no complaints with that overall, you know, design, I guess you'd say, of that knife, that curvature. You know, very reminiscent of a badass hinder, just huge, you know. Or I guess for him it's the A15, A8, A10, whichever one you kind of come in on. So let's go with the Medford. This is the on belay, one with that American flag stuff. One more thing I'll say about this on belay real quick, but it's never been centered. It bothers the shit out of me. Well, it was brand new, it was centered, but so I think I'm going to pop this one apart and do some work to it too. As much as I hate to kind of go against the whole Medford mentality of don't take your knife apart and don't do nothing with it. I think it's mine. I'm going to do what I want to with it. So I'll probably pull it apart. The what's the other one? Infraction I have, I pulled it apart and they had washers stacked on both sides and it was way uneven when I measured it to compensate to get it in center. So apparently that's what I'm probably going to have to do with this one too, is just make new phosphor bronze washers and center it up. But you know, still very happy with the knife overall. It's just this knife really never loosened up to a point where it can compete with any of these other knives I'm going to show you. Like the action on it's just not there. So I'm gonna pull it apart, put phosphor bronze, take the grease out of it, put oil in it, and tune that one up a little bit and make it more like mine. But for the thickness comparison, you know, everybody's talking how thick Medfords are. You can see that Hoback got it. Yeah, maybe it's hard to see this way. I don't know if I can do it any other way. But trust me, the Hoback's thicker. I don't know if it really goes through in there or not, but the Hoback's thicker. And you know, Medfords are known to be thick, and this thing's still sizably thicker. What you can't see, what looks like it's skinny right here, is because it's got a chamfer right here, and then the scale starts right there, so it's actually thicker there. You kind of see the setter on this side. See how this is thicker? This looks like the thickness, but this is actually the thickness over here. So, and then we'll go, this is a DSK kickstand, so you can clearly see that one way thinner than the Hoback Husky. I like the Hoback Husky a lot. And then here's some, what is this one? What's the next in this? Oh, Max Ace Sandstorm. It's a Chinesium kind of project I'm working on right now. So you can see it's thicker even than that guy. This is a big guy too. Let's fling him out on the table then. Or on the table. This is my bed. So we'll fling him out on the bed and kind of do a quick overall size, so you can kind of see what all these guys look like. These are kind of the bruisers of the collection and the one project knife I got in here for this guy here, the Sandstorm project knife. Okay, so you can kind of see that the Husky is really not lengthwise any longer. I'll just kind of I'll bounce them in and out so you guys can get a better idea. Get this guy out of the way. So here's the Sandstorm, which Sandstorm is a pretty good sized knife, and overall kind of impressed with all that stuff. Just to show you guys what I'm doing to it. It used to have some kind of, I don't know, whatever that was. It wasn't a lock bar stabilizer. It was kind of like a screw thing, but mixed right in front of the pocket clip. So I already changed it out. I'm gonna make a new pocket clip. I got the splines picked up from the CMM. I just got to put it in Mastercam and program a new pocket clip. I'm gonna make a different pocket clip because there's no room for nothing in there. You ain't getting that shit in nothing. Like there's no bend to it. It's not going. And this stupid little pin thing has got to go. This thing is supposed to unscrew and screw over here. It's just hokey pokey bullshit. But anyhow, size wise, sorry, got sidetracked. So you can see that Sandstorm's a good bit bigger knife, like broader blade, but you see how thin this profile of the handle is. So it makes up for it being this kind of chunky too, but this chunk isn't as much chunk as this. So this still has a much fuller grip than this one does. So if you have a little smaller hands with like big knives, I like that one for you. It's a good selection. Of course, the Sawtooth, you know, to me, the ergonomical king. I don't think you can beat this one. Like for me, for my hands, still the best knife. I don't know. I'm hung up, I guess. Whatever. And the belay is a good knife too. So you can see the overall width on this is very similar. The belay is actually a good bit longer. Well, not say a good bit, but a decent bit longer. So you see you got a decent amount longer blade area on it. But when you fold them up, this is the interesting part. When you fold them up, Hoback's actually a good bit longer than the belay. So, you know, Medford packs a good bit of blade for the handle. So overall, when you get to the end of that, and depending on what you want, you know, the Medford does pack a little more of a punch than the Hoback as far as the actual blade, using it for a blade. You know, I think half the people that carry knives nowadays just like them to have them. So I don't know, wherever you stand on that one. Kickstand, I don't think I got anything in my collection that's as big as a kickstand lengthwise. Like it's just a super long knife, mainly because of all this back in here. Because when you close this, you got a lot of area in the scale that's not being taken up by the blade. You see all that area right there, so it really does make a huge difference. But you can see it's a super long knife. It's not really any bigger. This about the same size as the Grayman as far as width goes and that sort of thing. About the same with the belay too. It's pretty close to the same width. You know, all these are similar, but the Husky's just that much more robust. But just really impressed with the overall action and feel of them. And I think I even did on my last video, I think I even said, you know, I'd be looking for more Hobacks. So honestly, at this point, I think that this Mercado one, I think what I'm going to do is try to make a titanium scale for it. Maybe something slightly different with the design, or, you know, maybe put my touch on a scale to kind of go with this guy. make it a little bit different. And now I'll probably put a titanium scale on this guy because I like it. I still don't want to get rid of it. That's still a really cool knife. I'm just 50-50 whether I want to keep the Mercator or make it titanium. It's just, I don't know. Maybe I'll leave it alone. I fuck with so much shit. I just need to leave it the fuck alone probably. But man, just this is it. This is the way. So I don't know. Even if I did make that a titanium, I don't know if I'd carry it over this one anyhow because this one has the looks I like. Just my style. All right, I'm gonna change my name. It's gonna be Sawtooth Dave instead of regular Dave. I don't know why the hell I ever didn't do Sawtooth Dave because I go by Sawtooth Dave on Instagram and everything else. So everybody knows me as that. So when you see the name change on the channel, same dude, same bullshit. Just change the name to make it more consistent with everything else social media was. All right, y'all be cool.